episode of the Freedom Cafe, the forum for comics. Coming to you live from everybody's house today, another quarantine edition.
Yes.
Allow me to introduce myself again for those of you who haven't seen a Freedom Cafe episode. I'm Hank, aka Frobocop. On the mic today, we got a man, the Richness, aka Riz, aka Richie,
aka Reggie.
AKA Reggie.
Hey, don't talk about my boy Reggie like that, goddammit.
Thanks, Robocop.
I got you. Yeah,
Also-
that's Robocop.
Also, we've got my man, Ace Hawaii,
Wow.
David Thornhill, on the mic as well. And then the
Yeah.
man who needs no introduction, I'll let him introduce himself because he
Big
has.
black, big sexy war machine, everything you know you want.
I don't want all that. I don't want none of that.
That, ladies only. Ladies only.
Please, you got to clarify that. Ladies only, and no, I'm good.
That's right. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest on the mic today. A very, very, very dear friend of ours, a good friend to the show, and also a Street Fighter aficionado. The president of the gaming group, Creston Shirley. Welcome, Creston Shirley, to the show, everybody. Creston Shirley is the president of the DC Gaming Group. DC Gaming Group is a club organization created to foster connections within the DMV gaming community. Their goal is to bring folks with different gaming preferences together in the same community. Whether you like single player adventures, fighters, shooters, or sports games, they provide a community where you can share your passion with other gamers. Creston, thank you so much for being a part of the show today.
Drop one of Clues bombs for that. Drop one of Clues bombs for Creston and the whole DC gaming community. There we go.
Absolutely. And we're going to be discussing the toxic environment that often comes with the gaming world and the gaming community. And, you know, it's kind of hard to find, how does the gaming world, $1 billion industry, control or balance free speech with, you know what I'm saying, ensuring a safe environment for everybody to play? Because we all know, gaming is, primarily geared towards kids, you know what I'm saying? And then, because we all play games as a kid, and now we're adults and we still play. It's a whole new environment. So, let's kind of open up the floor and, talk about that for a little bit.
Okay, I'll start it off. Hank, I disagree with you on the fact, on the aspect you said it's more geared to kids. Well, now, like you said, we're adults now, and their main, I don't think they're looking for toy sales anymore. They're looking for adults who have credit cards. Honestly, and because let's be for real, we were kids once, and they couldn't. How can I say, exploit us like they're doing now for these kids now? And honestly, I say racism in the beginning, there was a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because you hear white dudes call you, nigga. You hear and black dudes go back, call you crack. It goes back and forth. But it actually has gotten better. And I'll say right now it's more on the sexual side with people talking nasty to girls. I mean, I'm pretty sure Chris has some people in his gaming group, females who play online, can talk about the harassment they get. And the sexism in the gaming community is pretty big now. It's getting better. But, the racism part has toned down a lot. Honestly. That's actually a good thing. But like when Call of Duty first came out, oh, man. You never let a 10-year-old white dude call you nigga. It's awesome.
That's like Call of Duty is like the one consistent community where I always hear a nigga here and there, like from a white, assumingly white gamer. I don't know what it is about the Call of Duty community, but that is like some of the most toxic. I don't know if it's just because it's like so
It's
popular.
Military, I think too.
It's just so. I don't know if it's just like the sheer volume of people and just like the, whateverness about it and just being able to say some wild stuff. But that's like the one community that's consistently like racist.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I've been on there a lot, and then like I said before, it has toned down, and Activision has cracked down on it now. And they started cracking down to the point somebody call you, any racial, black or white, if you're using any racial terms, some report you to kick you. And now they're taking, since everything's going on, I want to get into that, but we do need to get into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's going on? The activists are making a thing where they're getting rid of all hate speech. And I mean, if you have a name with anything derogatory, they're wiping you. You're done. You have to rename your character, you know? So you can't be like Nigga Boy 99 or I hate black people. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you, Reggie. I don't like Asians even. Yeah, you can't do that anymore. See?
Thank you.
I'm including you, Reggie. I'm including you. But anyway. But on a serious tip, they are cracking down and they're making strides for that. Freedom of speech, technically, companies don't have to follow the Constitution. They have to follow their corporate policy. That's, you know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's what I was about to say, too.
The Constitution is designed for the people, not for corporations.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. And the reason I say that, that came up because I didn't know that either until I read an article about these white guys who complaining, why can't I do this? Freedom of speech. And one of the PC people for activism said, well, technically, we don't have to follow the Constitution. As long as we follow, you know what I'm saying? We're not, you know, we're a company. You have to follow the tips too. So this is our, property. So we can, how we want to, you know.
Terms of service.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the same thing when you go on a plane. You can't just be like bomb on the plane, bomb. You can't say bomb out loud and then not expect to get thrown off the plane or put in jail.
Yeah.
Like you said, terms of service, you know.
Yeah.
I think they should have better control of it because like I used to play Call of Duty all the time, and if I'm just practicing team deathmatch or you know or some other mode on there, I'd have to mute everybody.
Oh
on the
yeah.
other side, just so I'd be like, all right, cool. You know, I can play and I have to worry about that. That's what you know. Is it still that bad?
For me, it is. I think the most recent, like with Modern Warfare, like my default has just been like mute all, like like everybody, like it's basically like I'm playing a single player game because I don't hear nobody, which is amazing. But like recently, even before Modern Warfare, with Black Ops 4, I just like randomly, it was like I had a couple friends over, we just fired it up. We were trying to play, you know, something online. And like we were playing, and just like at the end of the game, like the dude was just so mad. He was just like, "Nigga," I was just like, "God, dog, we've been on this game for like 20 minutes, and somebody's already dropping the N bomb." I'm just like, "Dog, come on! Like this stuff still goes on."
Once you put in that type of environment and they're throwing down the word and anger goes off, because nobody likes to lose. That's why when I go into every match, I put out there, look, man, I'm non-competitive, so. Yeah, I'm gonna mute you guys. And I just mute them because, like you said before, I don't want to hear it because I don't care if like one kill and 5,000 times because people just want to talk trash. They think they're better than you. When my boy Wes, is a great gamer, he calls this crazy white dude I play with. He's in my video game clan. Hashtag Delta. Check us out. Anyway, yeah, he says it best. All those people are internet gangsters because you know they won't say it to your face.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know. The anonymity is a
100%.
huge shield.
Yeah.
Huge shield. I wonder how many people like I've like passed on a day-to-day basis, like on a train or wherever, like back before before Corona, that have like called like inadvertently like called me N-word, like just like online, like just like random. Like I always like think about that, like how many people like have like these like online aliases and they just go, wow, they doing some craziness. Like that's the shield though, like that anonymity, like it just affords you that opportunity to just do some wild stuff online, just say the most wild shit.
And that's another good segue too. Did you know, like in WoW and games like EverQuest, they were actually people who were like who were really in those games. They would find the people who actually like flamed them and go after them in real life. That was actually a thing. Yeah.
I mean, swatting, right? That's like a real thing.
Yes, a real thing. Yeah. I mean, honestly.
Oh yeah, swatting.
Yeah. Then that swatting thing, like Richie said, you know, hackers are all real, baby. Don't get twisted. You know, they can find out who you are, and if you really piss them off, they'll swat you. That was back in the day. That was a big thing. Or they'll try to ruin your life. They'll actually come to your house. I mean, that's how toxic some of these people are. You know, how and like I said, it's over a game, but to them, that's their life. You know.
Yeah. And I think that's definitely
my whole thing. I'm mellow. I'm like, I'm the coolest guy you can meet. I'll high five everybody because honestly, I'm not ruining my life over something stupid. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And
I think,
please.
I was gonna say just Yeah, Preston, it's great that, I mean, the DC gaming group, I think that's a good like way to promote positivity in the gaming community, just because there is so much toxicity, and obviously that gets attention because that, that's what media covers. And James alluded to it too, like that just intersection between like racism, racial bigotry, and also like sexism too. That's hard. That's definitely felt, and so I think it's important. I have, this is kind of related, but like I have a couple friends who are like linguistics people, and they talk about how now like um the curse words and just like where that comes from. And so like back in the day, like what was seen as that frontier was like religion and sex were like taboo. And so that's why like fuck, damn, like all that goddamn were like curse words, and those were very, and nowadays, like it's gender and it's race, which is why like the C word, the N word, those are all very like, those are like the curse words that people
What's the
are.
C word?
What? I'm not saying that.
I don't know. Can somebody tell me what the C word is?
I'm
Look it
gonna say
up.
It rhymes with
Look
runt.
it up.
Yeah, it rhymes with runt.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna kick a punt.
But yeah,
You
And
know?
so
smoke
like,
a blunt.
Yeah.
yeah, and so like I think people want to push, and like I think yeah, adults do play a lot more video games than back in the day, but it's still like heavily like younger people that are playing, and they're still trying to figure stuff out and like trying to push what's edgy and what's cool, trying to figure themselves out. So what I don't excuse is when it's like adults doing it, like kids, like there's just a lack of education there, but when you're an adult, you're like, you should know better.
Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like there should be like, I don't know if schools are doing this now, but there should be like an online ethics class. Like there should be like an ongoing effort
Mm-hmm.
into uh teaching kids like how to conduct themselves online, especially now as they get older.
Oh, right.
As you're seeing like a lot of this stuff that you posted like 5 years ago, like it's now coming back to haunt you. Like a lot of people are getting canceled from tweets
Yeah.
and their activity online before they popped off and got famous. Like
Yeah.
there's like a whole there's consequences to this, and of course, like as you're young, you don't think of any consequences. So I think there should be more of an effort uh in whether it's school, whether it's some organization or whatever, like whether it's through parents. I think parents' education also plays a part in that, because there's always been like that, especially in academics, like especially like in school settings, like there's always been like they've always kind of looked down on like online. Like I mean, you just remember, like I remember doing like papers and stuff. They're like, "Oh, you can't use the internet on this. You can't use Wikipedia and all of this stuff."
You did. Rick, keep on talking.
Yeah, like and so there's always been like this attitude towards like online of just being like, "Oh, these kids online," and this it's like, nah, like this stuff is serious. There's kids like getting cyberbullied and
Yep.
coerced into, taking their own lives, and there's all sorts of harassment going on. It's like, dog, like there should be an effort into like how, like just basic humility online, civics, like that type of stuff, like because it's just wild. It's like the wild wild west. Like the
Yeah.
parents just like let the kids just go off and do their own thing, and like, oh, these kids, they're I don't even know what they're doing online, and ha 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 ha, and it's like, dog, like
Yeah.
no, you need to know what they're doing on there. You need to figure out like, yo, like how to conduct yourself and be a good
Yeah.
person, because this stuff hurts. This stuff hurts
Yeah.
and that
people.
and
I
that's a
think
good
that,
segue into your great DC gaming club. You guys have rules and code of conduct go on that lines of how a gamer should act and how a gamer should dictate themselves when
Oh,
they're
for sure.
in your gaming club. Can you go over some of your rules and for that, please?
Yeah,
If
for
you
sure. It's very like common sense things like no harassment. Actually, let me put it up online right now. I have a whole code of conduct. Our big thing is like, as you were saying before, harassment. That's a big thing with female gamers and guys, like they just feel like this. It's this weird thing in nerd culture, like oh, a female is a nerd.
That's
What can I talk to you and can I feel on you? And it's
oh
just
my
like
gosh.
just like, dog, like no, this is a human being. Like she just happens to like the same stuff you like. That doesn't give you the privilege or the permission to harass
Mhm.
these folks.
The right to touch. Nobody has the right to
Yeah,
touch. Anybody don't want to be touched.
Yep.
exactly. So, so that's a big thing that I'm really big on is like making sure our female members are like taken care of, and like I have a whole thing of like I even told like our leadership team is like, yo, like let's make sure that our female gamers feel invited, feel like they
Have a
can be
comfortable,
themselves.
yeah,
You know what
have
I
a
mean?
comfortable environment where they don't have to worry about being sexualized or being ogled at. Definitely.
Being stalked,
You're right.
being all this weird. So I'm like, dog,
Yeah, come on,
just
man.
a human being. Like,
Right. And it
come
sounds like
on now.
among
Mhm.
your team there, you all take like a more proactive approach, right, rather than reactive, which
For
is great,
sure, for
right? Yeah, because
sure.
then oftentimes when it's reactive, it's like it's already too late, like the damage has been done, right?
Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely. I
but
mean,
the lack
there's
of trust and all that stuff. So yeah,
yeah, we make it clear up front, like, yo, like this is a mature, respectful community. Like, none of this crap that goes on in these like crazy, online communities. None of that stuff applies here. It's like, yo, like we're here to respect one another. We're here to, and if anything pops off, we have a whole squad. We have about, ooh, how big is our staff? Got about 6 people moderating. Making sure like nobody's like posting some craziness. We're big on I don't know if everybody here is on Discord.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're big on Discord. Like that's basically our hangout spot. That's where we
That Twitter?
coordinate.
No, no, it's Discord, man.
I'm joking.
Oh, how I know you
Oh,
joking?
you had us
I
going
can't.
for a second
I
there.
can't even. All I just see is your one eye. You like,
My
hold on.
bad.
This is that's Twitter.
Yeah.
That's Twitter, right? What are you talking about? No, come on, man. How can I even know? Even your tone of voice, I
Is
can't
it is
tell.
is it a? I mean, it sounds like you have a Discord, I guess, channel or server for your leadership team. Is there like a general DC gaming Discord that we could like let people
Oh, for
know about
sure.
too? Yeah, so
Yeah,
let's put
yeah,
that in there.
definitely, definitely. Yeah, if you go to DC gaminggroup.com or dcgg.gg, we'll have a sign up form for you to. That's another thing that we do that's proactive with our community is that if you're going to sign up for our Discord community, we got to know who you are.
Yeah,
So
for
we
sure.
can like point, to be able to know like because we're taking away the anonymity, that like I said, that kind of cuts down like, a huge percentage of, people feeling that gumption to be able to do some wild stuff on there. So that's like our big thing. And I've got that idea from other I'm part of this black tech community here in DC called Black Code Collective. And that's the same thing that they do. Like they're big on like making sure we know who you are when you come into our like they have this whole forum that you sign up for. Um they have like the active like moderators. Like it's like to a T. So I basically took that model and plopped it into what we're doing at DC Gaming Group because
Cool.
it's a positive environment. Everybody feels welcome to post. Like we have one of my favorite channels on our server is our unpopular opinions channel, and it's basically like because there's like these like agreements between gamers of like okay like everybody knows like Zelda is a beloved series. I personally don't care about Zelda. I could care less. Like I've never been
Hold,
attached to
hold
Link.
on, hold on, hold on.
You know, this is
Disclaimer.
my Zelda shirt. Look at
We
this.
don't condone what Chris says on this thing because Zelda haters are out there and they
But
will
that's the
come.
thing. That's the thing. Like we
No,
make
that's
it
fine.
we make it comfortable for folks to be able to like express like yo like I don't really like this game and
Right.
here's why. But like we ask like okay, so what is your standpoint of that? Like why do you think that way? What about this franchise doesn't really connect to you? But we do it in a very mature way. We don't like oh you're dumb, you're canceled, you get out of here, blah 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 blah. It's like nah, like we want to like discuss that. We want to be able to make it comfortable for folks to be able to come out and talk about these things that aren't necessarily, popular opinion. So that's one of my favorite things. Like, and I have like they kind of started, even between my friends and like, they know I don't really play like not a big like RPG player. So they look at me like I have like 5 heads.
Yeah, you don't play more RPGs?
Nah, man, I'm a first person shooter, action adventure.
Mm.
My only sports game I play is MLB The Show because I'm a huge baseball fan. I played baseball all my life. Um,
Cool.
What
What
position?
position?
Usually third,
Uh,
usually third base and left field. I started when I was in Little League. I was second base, but third base has way more action. Like it's just like
Yeah.
it's so much fun. Like you just gotta like one of my things I just had to like work on was my arm. Just
no,
but
you gotta know how to throw. I'm sorry, that sounds. Yeah, okay, all right. But yeah,
so
no, please.
but nah, like yeah, so we're big on like just making sure every member uh feels safe. First and foremost, like we have a whole policy of if you feel like you've been harassed or you feel like someone has been like disrespectful, like we have a whole process of like going back. And that's the other good thing about Discord is that you can uh moderate all of this stuff. Like you can go back and look, if somebody was sending some crazy stuff on one of our
So,
channels, like we can go back and look and be like, yo, like so we have the receipts. Like we
Yeah.
have the
Oh yeah.
receipts.
Show us the receipts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So we got we have all of these tools. So luckily we haven't had to deal with anything, man. Like that's been a big a big win. I think because we just like I said, our message from the beginning is like, yo, like this is an adult, mature community, and we're all respectful with one another. And I think that message has gotten across. And so luckily we haven't had to ban anybody or do anything of that sort. So
how's
yeah.
diversity in your group?
Oh man, it's actually pretty diverse. We have a good amount of female gamers. We have a good amount of different ethnicities. We have even within like between like gamers, like not everybody plays the same stuff. Like like I said, for me, like I'm not big into a lot of RPGs or anything of that sort. But I do play a lot of first-person shooters. I do play a lot of action adventures, and we got other people that are huge into RPG, and we got folks that are really big into tabletop. Um, it's
Oh,
just
so it's
like
not just video games. Is it
you said
not like?
what?
Is it not? You said tabletop. Is it like non-video game stuff too?
Yeah, no,
Wow.
we've dabbled into because we have it's that's like a cool cross pollination between the communities. It's like a lot of gamers also do a lot of tabletop games as well. So we
Mm-hmm.
wanted to facilitate that as well. And our plan going forward was going back to BC before Corona. Our plan was to during all of our events to have like a kind of like a tabletop discovery section where
Mm.
like me personally, I'm not big into tabletop, but I'm interested. If somebody would show me, like, what are some of the cool games,
Uh,
that type of stuff.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Do you have a D&D group? 'Cause I'm looking for a D&D group.
Oh, we got some folks that are big into D&D. Like one of like I'll say like 3 of our member staff is like huge D&D folks. I think they do campaigns like every weekend. So I could definitely, if you
Wow.
join our Discord, I can definitely hook you up with our D&D group.
Well, I don't believe being on social media, but I'm mad to do that because
Oh, this isn't social media. This is
It's like a
Yeah.
basically
messaging
just a
platform.
yeah.
yeah.
It's just
See,
it's
so
a
James didn't know what what Discord was.
I know, yeah. He was joking, but I knew he was. I knew it. He didn't know nothing.
That's getting James.
You know me
didn't
all the
know
time. I'm going on
nothing,
Facebook and
man.
what's that? I'm part of the dark net. All right, get out of here. I know more about you motherfuckers. So don't come for me. You guys know why. I got degrees in IT. You want to go over networking days? You want to go over IPv6, IPv4? You want to go over all this other stuff?
I want to go over the fact how you didn't know
update?
what Discord was for real. I knew you would. Even though you only had one eye on the screen and a tight shape up here, I knew you didn't know what it was. I knew it.
that shape up is
Yeah.
clean.
I know, clean.
But I may have to. I will get a Discord now and join because I'm definitely looking for a D&D group of just good people to play with. Because like I said, and Richard, you're coming with me, and there we go.
We want to encourage everyone to if you're interested to sign up, we'll have the link below to sign up for the DC gaming group.
I'm in it already. Turf Jones, that's me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Frobocop already on there.
Yeah, so I will put my name in the ring too. So
I guess I have to now since all you guys did make me look bad. All right. Anyway,
you have to do it. Almost the eyes.
No, that's it. I like how you did that there, Chris. I mean, honestly, when you hear about gaming, you only think about computer games, but you're actually going to board type games, and there's a big board type gaming community out there. And so, apple to apples, I play dominoes. If you got a little dominoes crew, then what I'm saying, smack the ivory, the bone.
Get some dominoes going. I just learned how to play dominoes maybe a couple years ago.
Yeah, hey,
that was fun.
Yeah, dominoes is a fun game. And spades. I mean, you guys actually hitting like all those games, especially like Risk, and there's a bunch of really good board tabletop games that people don't know about. They'll actually, it'll be a lot of fun, especially the murder mystery ones. Slew.
There's so many. Like one of my good friends, Tom, who's part of the DCGG staff. Like he's huge in the tabletop. Like you go over his house, like he has about like 2 bookcases of just like straight up tabletop games, things I never even heard of. Wow. And so he's always like on the prowl for these especially Kickstarter is like a big spot for tabletop community. There's a lot of cool stuff that's coming out of that community. And my thing is like it's my stance on tabletop is like I just love it because it brings folks together. It's a very like it's a cool way to interact with one another. It's like it's just good. It's good vibes, and so that's what we're really just going for, is just getting people together. Playing games with one another. Like I've always just been frustrated with like these same ass events like around like DC and stuff. I'm just like come on now. Like nobody think like it's just like the same stuff. I'm just like like how many events do I have to go to? Stand around like, I'm a software developer, and let me go get another drink, and what type of stuff? Like, like come on now, like.
I like that.
Can you give us like just a preview of like some of the events that DCGG does and puts on? I mean, maybe in the past, obviously we're going through this stay-at-home pandemic and everything, but what are the events at DCGG? What do those look like?
Yeah, so before Corona, we launched our and thank you again to Dave and Hank. You all are amazing. You all did the best video that I can like ever imagine, and it just really spoke to what DC gaming.
I did that too.
Oh, thank you, Jen. I thank you all. Thank you all.
You did not.
He ain't do nothing. You ain't do.
I'm joking.
Hey, I appreciate you all for coming out, man. Like it was
no problem, man. Thanks for having us, man. That was great.
Yes, absolutely. That was for the folks who don't know how me and Preston met. We met at a place called East Starland, and there were me and him both walked up to Street Fighter Third Strike, and both of us just started playing, and like warriors afterwards and stuff like that. We just became the best of friends. So
nice.
Sure.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Nah, definitely, man. Like I was like when you're in those environments, like you're automatically attracted to other black gamers, and you're like, oh man, like wonder, like when you was playing Third Strike, I was like, oh shit, like let me come over here. First, I was like, let me see what you got over here. They came over, over here, and we were just battling it out. I was like, man, like I was like, and so it just sparked up a conversation. I was like, yo, like what type of stuff you do, blah blah blah, and then boom, like all that type of stuff. Like it all came together, and yeah, so I really appreciate that point. But yeah, no, DC Gaming Group, our events are really catered to couch multiplayer games. Are you familiar with that term?
Like co-op, like in-person co-op sort of
Yeah,
stuff?
the in-person gaming, like everybody on the same screen, split screen, that type of stuff, like classic, like basically N64 days. Um, so our big thing was like focusing on like those games that focus on those on couch multiplayer, like uh the indie game scene. As much as like mainstream gaming, I'm kind of falling out of touch with indie games. The indie game community is popping right now. There's so many cool games that capture that. I like to refer to it as like the golden era of gaming, like the PS1, N64, Dreamcast days, like that. Indie games are like really capturing that spirit, and so that was one of the things. Even when I started this group, was like, yo, like I want to make sure we focus on those games and um expose them to gamers that may have not have ran across them, and give that opportunity to just really compete in these silly games. Like we had this game called Gang Beasts, which is basically everybody's like this little Gumby character, and
Yeah.
your whole goal is just to like throw somebody off of these like
Yeah.
crazy levels. Like there's a level where you're fighting in a subway station, and like every like want to say like 30 seconds or so the train comes in. So your whole goal is to throw your character in the train tracks.
Yeah.
But it's hard because it's like your character is like this like Gumby, like you have to mess around with the physics and that type of stuff. So it was just silly. Those silly
Yeah.
games. Like we're not like we're not really competing, but of course you want to talk mess to one another. And so that was like the whole thing was just like featuring those games, especially the Nintendo Switch is a great platform for those. Like there's so many games that are big on couch multiplayer games, even within the Nintendo
Smash
exclusives.
Brothers.
Smash is like is a staple. Um, you got like Mario Tennis, Mario
Mario
Party, that type
Mario
of
Party.
Kart.
stuff.
Yeah.
Mario
Yeah,
Kart
Mario
became like one
Kart,
of
of
the best-selling
course.
games, like two
Yeah,
years after it came out, 3 years after it came out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
don't know if you all went like is it the National Portrait Gallery or the American Art Museum like down in Chinatown? Every
I
year at
have.
the Smithsonian, they have that video game event.
They
And
do.
I
oh, the
think
Sam
last year I
Arcade.
went, yeah. And they had what was really cool. I mean, we're talking about like gamers too, but like in terms of game developers too, what they had a cool thing where they showcased like um, developers, game developers like of color, LGBT, and like female developers too, like of indie games, and it's just important.
Females make video games.
Say that again.
I said females make video games.
Okay.
Stop.
Send all the smoke to James in the comments, everybody.
Yes, as he would say, flame him, which I think is like
Please
flame
y'all.
him. That's a flame. What? Just give him all the smoke. Give him all the smoke, please.
Yeah,
I hope, ladies, you guys
Go
know
ahead,
the
Ricky, go
Gamergate
ahead.
was real, and I do feel bad about that. You guys know about Gamergate. It was a bunch of female developers getting sexualized, blah, 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 blah. You want to read more about it. It was actually pretty interesting. And but yeah, I mean, honestly, don't knock. Remember, I only see people when you see video game. That's my motto, I mean, because, honestly, because it doesn't matter if she's a girl or a dude. As long as you enjoy playing with that individual, that's all. That's the real thing, Coming together, finding like-minded people about being creepy.
Yeah, and I as a so for a living I do software development, and um there's like this whole thing in the gaming community where there's like say if you don't like a game that comes out and there's like all this vitriol that goes towards like the developers, and I'm just like, dog, like they tried their best, like what I'm saying, like
Yeah.
like there's they don't like why are people getting death threats because people didn't like a video game, or like
Crazy.
that is just is the weirdest thing, man. Like I don't understand like people's like I've really never understood that. I was like, dog, these people are just they're doing a job. They're doing something that they they try. They're doing their best. They put their effort into it, and you all are attacking them on. I'm like, dog, that never. I never understood that part. That's the other toxic part of this whole gaming community. Is just like,
I mean,
man,
it's
like
like pop culture in general too, though. I mean, look at all the hate for like
yeah,
the new Star Wars movies, for Game of Thrones season 8. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
If you don't like it, you don't like it. Like, that's fine. Like, come on.
Hold on, Chris. Now, you know, like Cat Williams said, if you ain't getting hate, you're not doing the right thing. I mean, honestly, people are jealous.
Can't make everybody happy.
People, the thing about, people just, they say people are, how do I say, they say people are stupid, but the individual is smart. People want to, they want to, how can I say, downplay stuff because one, they're like, they didn't think of it first. Two, they know they don't have the talent to do it. Three, they're just fucking mean.
Yeah.
People just want to find fault in something.
I never understood the profession of being a critic. Like, you're literally just like talking about other people's work. It's like, dog, like, if you think you're so good, like, why don't you do this? Like, I never understood that.
Simple as that.
I never understood that. Like, your whole profession is to talk shit about other people's work. It's like, dog, like, if you know what is so good and what's bad, why don't you get behind the camera and make your own?
Chris, you're gangster. You know this is a show about critics, right? We talk about a lot of shit.
But she's right though. He's right.
I'm talking about like you all are like you all are fans of this, this stuff. Like you all, this is your passion. Like I'm talking about the folks that like make their livelihood on this stuff. Like your Roger Eberts and your like I'm like, dog, like come on now. Like I never understood that. I never understood that.
Well, I'll say this on that aspect. Like, there's certain movies like G.I. Joe. I think I could do a lot better if you give me a camera and a couple of my buddies. But I think we could have made G.I. Joe a lot better. First of all, I just want to kill Duke. But anyway, that's there. You know what I'm saying? No, but you're absolutely right. I mean, on that aspect. But honestly, I think on the other side of that, people like to be led to certain things. And people are, and what's the one thing that people are in this world? Lazy. Oh, this guy already watched it? Okay, he seems pretty cool. Let me know what his thoughts on it. Oh, he doesn't like it? Fuck that dude. I don't like it either, Sad to say, people don't want to experience stuff for themselves. They want to actually...
Curators. Yeah, curators. So you all are more curators. Like, and that's the thing, like, and that's honestly something that that's a big part of DC Gaming Group is curating, like, these games that are more obscure that you probably wouldn't have, ran across just on a day-to-day basis. And we can say like, yo, like, I recommend this game or not. Like, and that's honestly, and I think that's the other thing with like game critics. Like, one of the things that you also have to take into account is like, what is this person like? Me reviewing like an RPG, it wouldn't hold as much weight to somebody that actually likes RPGs because I don't like RPGs, and so it's like understanding like I never really understood what like if when you hear a review from somebody, knowing like what's their background, like what type of games do they like because that's a better way of understanding because if there's somebody that I respect like their opinion on, like for instance with fighting games, Maximilian Dude, like I respect his opinion because we see eye to eye on a lot of stuff. I may not agree with him on like his Final Fantasy 7 stuff, like because I don't care about that, but like but when it comes to like fighting games, like he's on point, and so understanding like people's backgrounds, and that's the other thing I think like with like reviews and gaming, like you have to know like what is this person play, what is this person's passion, because that way you can decipher that review a lot better.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'll stand up for like the literary and film and gaming critics to an extent. I think it is necessary. Like you said, it's a way of curating and all that stuff. But yeah, it is tough when it becomes.
But you don't have to be mean like that. I think that's the big thing that gets me. Is like being mean to these people. It's like, dog, like come on now.
Well,
be respectful.
That's how people sell stuff through hate. You know what I'm saying?
True.
They want to. They want to provoke that reaction.
With the hot takes.
Remember the old saying, "Good or bad press is still good press."
Mm-hmm.
They want to.
That is true.
No, your point's taken though. Like people could be kinder in terms of how they're saying. Like, does it does it meet what it intended to, like when it set out? Is it doing what it was intended to do, or what,
Yeah.
their vision for it? And it's like a
Yeah.
yes or no thing, or it's not that binary, but but to be mean about it, just you're making it more about yourself than the thing that you're reviewing.
Yeah, just don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just don't be an asshole. That's the moral of the story. Just be respectful. These people are people too.
Yeah.
Well, thank God the world's not made of sunshine and rainbows. And it's sad to say it's not, and I think adversity actually breeds, how can I say, more passionate programmers, more passionate poets, more passionate playwrights, knowing that they're being hated on, knowing that it's pushing them to actually put out a better product, and, and it's sad to say, sometimes, it does get toxic. Sometimes people lose, and sometimes people, sad to say, kill themselves over that,
Yeah, and that's what's the problem, man.
That is the problem. And I don't want to comment on anything else, so Hank.
All right.
Well, what I was going to say along the lines of what Creston and Riz was talking about getting cyberbullied or getting harassed online. For those of you who have been harassed or bullied online, raise your hand.
I mean, harass, yeah.
Or called something negative or anything like that.
Oh yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Start over again.
James is don't.
I've gotten like hate mail on Halo because I destroyed some people.
Oh, you talking about stuff like that? Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now that I think I blocked it out, but now that you're mentioning like all this stuff, yeah, I've gotten like follow-up messages on like Xbox Live, just telling me what a piece of crap I know.
You words. Bad. Why are you playing the game?
Yeah.
I paid for it. That's what I told one dude because I paid for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what you were saying, Riz, it's not so much that somebody will try to call and cuss you out or something like that, or if they use a racial slur, they'll be slick about it. Because I remember I was playing this was Marvel vs. Capcom, and I was beating the shit out of this guy online and stuff like that, right? And afterwards, he sent me, when we were leaving like the group or whatever, he sent me like a message and stuff like that. He was like, pretty good for a spear chucker, right? So I was like, the fuck?
Damn.
So I tried to, go back on and, tried to find him and stuff like that, but I couldn't find him. But somehow he found me, and he like hacked into like my email, and he was sending me emails and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And I knew it was him because in the byline it kept saying spear chucker inside of it. And I tried to, you know what I'm saying? And I tried to report him and whatnot, But that's
bad, bro.
Once he hacks into your shit, like that's
it was over, but I got harassed afterwards.
Yeah,
that's pretty bad.
Yeah, hacking into your stuff, like that's like that's criminal stuff right there.
Yeah.
Like that's taking it to a whole other level. Like that's nuts.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Did you what happened? Did you get it resolved?
Yeah, I emailed, it was on PS3 at the time. So I emailed like PlayStation and stuff like that and say like, hey, unfortunately I got like a screenshot and stuff like that. Like, this is the guy who's been harassing me and stuff like that. And then once they got, sent in the paperwork and stuff like that, I never heard from it again. But it went on for like 3 or 4 days and stuff like
That's
that. That's
crazy.
And so
don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that, please. Don't be that guy or that gal.
Yeah.
It's 3 days.
So again,
it was a guy. We know it was a guy.
Yeah.
PSN days were like the Wild Wild West, man.
Hold on, Richie. Are you being sexist? You discriminate against women? Women can't be cyber stalkers too? Come on, Richie.
We're just saying the likelihood of this.
I mean, I think that level of crazy is like a dude. It doesn't seem. I don't know. Maybe you all see. I was watching this Donald Glover stand up.
You must not have played the crazy chick before. So I'm gonna let you pass on that, Randy.
No, okay. Yeah.
Women can be just as crazy as men. Don't trip. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole thing. But anyway, hashtag women equality down what's the name? Go ahead, Dave. You gonna say something?
I didn't say nothing. I was just trying to think. I was just like hashtag women equality. I'm gonna get this James. Hashtag women equality. What? He just made up a whole thing there. But
hey, time
I
out.
understand what you're saying.
Women can be crazy. Let's not get twisted.
All right. Do we have one more final question for our guest? Anyone have a question?
I'm good on. I'm
Oh,
good on
yeah,
mine. Dave, you got anything?
Not at the moment. All I just know is thank you for coming. This is great. Also, I like that. I like the Discord because it's more of a statement here. I like the Discord because
here we go.
it's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad. Damn, just calm down. But I was saying, like, in the Discord, you can go to like the different groups. I like to go into every group to see what's going on. Like I saw the Animal Crossing group; they got a whole group there. Call of Duty group that you see when they're going on Fridays. I like how y'all said no, we're not going to go on there this Friday because we just got, there's way more important things to do, than this, especially because of protest. And then when he brought up the fact that what we were talking about censorship in games, and where was all this when, because Sony said they had to push the launch date of the PS5 the video back because of what's going on here, but they never really until this happened, nothing happened like that in their games. They weren't really regulating these online the online community like they should be doing. You know? So when y'all brought that up, I was just like, this is true, and something should be done about that.
For sure.
Especially after this.
I mean, that's what we've been saying. Like, it's like, dog, like this isn't new. Like, like I feel like, I don't know. Like, I feel like as a, I guess as a world, like people like to think that like people are. It's like, dog, like how many times does stuff like this need to happen for you all to like realize like we're not over here like making this stuff up. Like, dog, like this is our reality. Like these are our realities, like, unfortunately, in this country. And it's like you all are now realizing this. Like, dog, like, where you, like, y'all must have actively just like avoiding that. Like, it's just kind of like, come on now. And it's just, it took like, another, like, it's been like, what does it take? Like, I just don't understand. Like, this has been like, we've been like, I feel like we've just been like screaming into the ether and like nobody's listening.
I'll tell you where they're at. They were at home ignoring everything. But luckily, thanks to social media, this stuff's being put to light, and they can see that it's unfair.
Thanks to Corona too.
The Corona too, definitely.
They can't go outside and ignore it.
Right. And I tell you right now, I have some of my redneck white buddies I serve up in the military telling me that shit's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And they used to defend some of that stuff. Well, maybe the police officer had a reason. They were like, nah. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, because like I said before, Corona actually said Corona is helping that because it's making people actually see what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But again, I'm Native American, so I don't know, so I can't relate. And now, real talk though.
What?
I love gaming.
You even made the richness have a funny reaction. Like what?
I got somebody, but
I know we're. Yeah.
Because the online culture. I mean, honestly, I play with guys that I probably never played with in the Midwest, who actually we have these tough conversations with. You know what I'm saying? Like some redneck guys I know work on old platforms. Great guys, but they say something stupid. I can check them. Then they want to know why. You know what I'm saying? What's going on?
I think more of that needs to happen. More of those conversations need to happen.
You gotta have these uncomfortable conversations. You know?
Like
I was telling Hank and Ace Hawaii, I think I even told Rich, like my boy Wes, redneck guy.
Oh yeah.
His son is, he has to go to school with all white people. He even told his dad, he said, "Dad, you can't blame all Chinese people for Corona." And what they did to that black dude was messed up. You know what I'm saying? He actually said this shit, and it's this little 13-year-old kid, And to me, that right there is the hope for me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The generation's dying off. It's not probably gonna happen like I say 2 or 3 more generations. We're gonna find something else to hate. I hope it's not each other.
Just not each other.
That's true.
Yeah.
But hey, this has been an awesome episode. Again, I'd like to thank our DC gaming expert. We'll definitely put all your information in comments below. And guys, support. You know what I'm saying? Go sign up for DC gaming community. Don't stay in the house, especially in this time. I mean, well, if you look at the Corona chart, Corona's not prevalent that much in Maryland no more. So you know what? Roll the dice.
I do not support that statement.
Stay
I-
safe,
I-
everyone.
I'm good.
It was talking about most of the Midwest states,
The
Pennsylvania.
South.
What I'm saying is this: you don't have to meet somebody; you can meet them online. You know, I'm pretty sure they have like online get-togethers. You know, that you can actually go. And honestly, you know, being socially isolated is a hard thing.
Yeah,
You know?
it is. It really is.
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
to have an outlet where you can actually meet people online, or you can roll the dice. They have a little meetup group. You know, just do that. I mean, honestly. And again, I'd like to thank the Richness, Richie, aka Reggie, my man Ace, fucking Hawaii. And I will never thank Probocop, but I will thank Hank. Anyway,
Last PSA: don't go out here raw dog in air. Okay, put your mask on. All right, thank you.
you say,
Wow.
man, for suckers. That was I'm out in the military. Why wear a condom? It doesn't work anyway, right?
Don't go out there raw dog in air and other situations. Put your mask
Yeah,
on.
somebody please get the music. I think the music is playing now. Again, thank you guys for joining us today.
Thank you all for having me. I appreciate this.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Coming on, brother. Seriously.
Oh, for sure. No, I'm down. Just let me know.
And I'm signed up for that Discord because I'm trying to get D&D group. All right.